So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. For the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. So you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. For the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. I take shots to the top, I'll get it. I got one life, I'ma do all the winning. pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back, cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change, slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
All right, welcome guys. What is today? Wednesday, June 24th. Welcome back. I am by myself tonight. The wife is working. I got the little guy. So you will have to forgive me. We're going to try and multitask here. But we're getting past the point of talking about discussion, Q&A, chat, griping, celebrating, whatever your point of view is on AMC's $200 million direct offering this week that kind of reset the price. We'll get to that in a second. I want to see who's in the chat here. Say hello if you're in the chat, and we'll talk about box office. We got just a few days left on this month. We still have a shot at a $3 billion box office. I've been wanting to see on the weekdays that we have remaining minimum of 24 million. We're at 2.7 million right now, 2.7 billion on box office. Monday was just over 24 million. Today was just over 32 million. If that can keep up on the weekdays, and here's the big if this weekend can be 200 million, we will just cross 3 billion for this quarter by my rough calculations. That would be historic. First $3 billion quarter since pre-pandemic. And, we're celebrating. I said we'll do a champagne celebration if we cross 3 billion. My official number is somewhere in between 2.9 and 3. But I remain ever hopeful. I have not read any of the controversy about Supergirl, but I understand from looking at headlines and such that there is some controversy. I'm looking forward to that movie. I like the actress. What's her name? Millie Alcock, I think is her name. We saw her on some TV program. But I don't know much about the movie. The trailer looks okay to me. We will see how it does. I think I had forecast 45-ish to 55 million for that movie. For this opening weekend, we have Jackass movie opening this weekend. We have Toy Story 5. Is 200 million possible with those three plus the remainder of everything else we have out there? It's certainly possible. Let's see how this past weekend did with Toy Story opening up 229 million. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say 3 billion is impossible, but we're going to take it day by day. Anya, good evening. Exile Crisis, what is going on? He says, I'm uniting. Looks like Wendy's squeeze is going to continue. I've seen the headlines for Wendy's. I haven't looked at it, Milton. I haven't looked at the chart, and I haven't looked at the short interest. I just feel like I've been really busy the last couple days with other stuff. But maybe we can pull that up tonight. Exile says, I guess he's talking about AMC just adding and waiting. It is what it is. No sense griping, Anya says. Get you nowhere. That's right. Debbie, how you doing? Kai Supreme, what's up, amigo? AI Extreme. Tony is Georgetown and Cedar Point. Nice areas for living. There's a Georgetown and there is another suburb called Cedar Park. Cedar Park has long been just a family suburban area for people that wanted a cheaper house that worked in Austin. But Austin has grown so much that it all just runs together now. You cross one stoplight and you're in Pflugerville, and then you cross another stoplight going a slightly different way, you're in Cedar Park. Georgetown is a little bit further outside of Austin, and it was where if you wanted to feel like you were still living in small town, this is how it was, you could buy an older house in Georgetown, and it was a quiet little community. I almost bought an office building in downtown Georgetown. It has a traditional city square with the courthouse in the middle and all the shops around, and you just walk around it. Imagine a huge city block with the courthouse, and then old school Texas. All your shops are in a square around that. That's how it used to be. Georgetown got absorbed just like everything else, and I haven't looked at real estate up there recently, but a lot of people prefer living there to Austin because of politics and taxes and crime, homelessness, you name it. You could be from Georgetown into Austin in 15 to 30 minutes, depending on time of day and traffic and what part of Austin you're going to. Georgetown to downtown Austin's maybe 30 minutes straight shot down the interstate. But yeah, both are okay. I've never owned property in Georgetown. I've been close to owning property in Cedar Park. Like I had a house in Round Rock, which is, you got Georgetown, Round Rock, Cedar Park, all north of Austin. They're okay. They're okay. Shoulda, anybody who bought property in Georgetown 20 years ago is doing good now, because real estate in Austin is ridiculous. And so everybody's moving further and further out. Further and further out. When I started buying properties here, you could, in the 80s, 90s, my first duplex I bought for $69,000. Those same duplexes now run you about $700,000 or more. It's crazy what real estate prices have done here. All right, box office. I'm hoping for $3 billion. I'm expecting somewhere over 2.9. We'll see what happens. Go see Supergirl or Jackass. Let's see if I have in here, what did I estimate for Supergirl? Oh man, yeah, look, initially I had said expect 70 to 100 million. No, it's not going to do that. 3-day opening weekend. Now 45 to 55 if we're lucky. So that's going to hurt us, but we've had other movies step up and really help out. Obsession, Backrooms, Spitting Up, Little Boy Spitting Up. Obsession, look at this. I had booked 20 million expectation for it back at the beginning of Q2, 188 million. That's crazy. I had booked 90 million for Backroom and it did 160. Thank God for these movies, man. Anyways, it's been an interesting quarter. Let's move over and talk about this. in previous live streams, I've put up some numbers of what, from the spreadsheet here, what the net income would look like for AMC, depending on where box office comes in at. 2.7, 2.8, 2.93 billion, and then the percentage of box office. Anything, this high, 2.9, it's going to be a profitable quarter. It's just a matter of how much market share did we get. Are you Rudy Tootin'? He's Rudy Tootin'. All right. AMC announces a pricing of 200 million registered direct offering. This was news from the 23rd, so sorry I'm late getting to you guys. It's just been crazy busy here. The company did a private placement, basically 95 million shares of AMC common stock at, what was this? Basically $2.10. Proceeds of 200 million, and they say that they are going to use the proceeds from the offering, which was supposed to close today, to redeem all of the 125 million of 6.125% notes due 2027. We do have people in the Discord that own those bonds. They have not received a call notice from AMC yet that I'm aware of. But at some point, once this offering is closed, which I thought it was going to be closed today, AMC will then have the cash, and they'll issue a call to the bondholders. And, let's say 30 days from now, those bonds will be called and they'll be paid off. So what I'm kind of expecting, the way timing plays out, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a CPA, but the way I understand it, just from common sense, is AMC will have 200 million in cash on the balance sheet for the end of Q2. The bonds will still be there. The debt's not paid off yet. But then in Q3, the bonds will be paid off, like, let's say 30 days from now. And then the cash will go down and the debt will go away. Am I super excited about this debt being paid off? Well, we're not super surprised, right? First of all, we're not super surprised. AMC has been very clear that they plan to continue to do whatever they need to do to fix the leverage ratios and repair the balance sheet. So I was out of this trade for 17 months. I got back in end of March. I did one swing trade from March to, what is this, mid-April. And I got out again for a couple weeks. We re-entered mid-May so I still have these shares at $1.29. I had June, July, and August calls. And on this run up, I already talked to you guys about this. I sold the June and July calls, 400% and 700% gain on those. I bought them around here. And I held on to the August $50s. Now, those August $50s were up 176% a couple days ago. I haven't checked today, but yesterday it dropped, obviously. Why did I keep the August? Because, if something bad happened, I wanted to be out of the June and Julys, because there's no time to recover if AMC does something squirrely. They did something squirrely this week, right? Not anything illegal, not anything unexpected, but it was a little earlier than we thought. And I'm playing this swing trade very safe. I'm not taking any chances. One thing I've learned with AMC is always expect the unexpected. So I took profits earlier on those June and July options, and I only left the ones that gave me the most runway, the August $50s. And with the call options that I sold, my shares basically are free, the $1.29 shares that I bought back in mid-May. So I don't have any stress over what happens. I'm bullish on the box office. I have not sold anything, even though the price fell. A lot of people have been asking me, are you buying? They were asking me, are you buying at 210? No, I'm not. I don't want to ruin my cost average. I got a nice low cost average, stress-free. But if the price were to continue dropping, let's say closer to that moving average, there on our chart, the daily, the moving average 50 is at $1.75. I'm not saying it's going that low. 210 is kind of resetting the price. They reset the valuation of the stock. So I'm frankly surprised if it goes below 210, and we're at $2 right now. But if it were to go down to that 50 moving average, I might. And if I buy some, I'll let y'all know. I really don't want to increase my cost average, but at the same time, I'm pretty bullish on box office. So let's see how Supergirl and Toy Story do this weekend. I'm not in any rush to add, but I'm not opposed to adding for the right price. Glitch, what's up? He says, will AMC issue a statement soon saying the share offering is complete? I would expect yes. I don't know if they legally have to. That's a good question, but typically when a company completes an offering, they will just issue a 8K saying that the offering is complete. Robert says AMC has unreliable management. How could they dilute at 210? They killed the momentum. I'm done with this garbage ticker. Well, I mean, this is what I got to say about that, Robert. The AMC has a bad balance sheet. I don't think that at this point, that should not be a surprise to anybody. All right, we know the balance sheet is upside down. I've used the words functionally bankrupt so many times that people call me a bear. I'm not a bear. I just read the financials. It's functionally bankrupt. They need bigger box office and they need to repair the balance sheet. And management tells you that in every earnings call, every 10Q, every 10K, that they will, if I can put words in their mouth, you can go read the transcripts of the calls yourself. They basically tell you every quarter they will do whatever is needed to repair the balance sheet, to repair the leverage ratios. They got to fix the balance sheet in tandem with box office going up, net income going up, cash flow going up. All of these things need to happen. EBITDA needs to go up. All of these things need to happen to get a upgraded credit rating. And then whatever's left on the balance sheet, they can refinance it, hopefully at a lower rate, and push it out a little bit. But we're talking a year from now minimum to get a credit re-rating. That's assuming the box office momentum keeps up. So look, I've been very blunt with you guys. The balance sheet needs to be repaired. You should expect dilution. You should not get all wrapped up emotionally in these trades. I know there's a lot of people pushing out. I saw a tweet, someone said, as long as it's under $9, it's undervalued. Bullshit. I mean, I hate to be blunt, but that's nonsense. Some of these people have zero financial training. I'm not a CPA, but I did study finance and accounting in college. I can do a earnings-based valuation. And you know what the earnings are right now? They're negative. There's no $9 price target. That is smoking crack. You could tell me, okay, Tony, I don't want to talk about a mathematical financial valuation. I just want to talk about what in a hopium run-up could it go to? It could go to whatever you want. It could go to whatever you want. There's no way to price target a FOMO run-up. But what I do know from watching and occasionally trading this stock over the last 5 years is where the pressure points are. I tweeted out to you guys over the weekend or maybe on Monday that there was going to be resistance at $3. Why? Because it's a supply zone. There's heavy selling pressure there. There's technical resistance there. There's fundamental resistance there. And we have Pentwater and Discovery with 150 million shares between them that they just got a couple months ago at $1.09 a share, looking to unload. And I don't know if you guys saw this. Did you see in the prospectus that AMC basically said the price was overvalued? I don't disagree. I know that's going to be a shock because everyone on X and YouTube is telling you the stock is undervalued. but it's just simply not. That is incorrect. If you want to understand how AMC management and the market is looking at valuation, if you don't want to understand that, fine. You don't need to listen to this channel. But if you don't understand it, you're going to fuck up this trade every time, because management and Wall Street are going to do what they do with the price, and you're going to be off in la la land thinking you're going to $9. Meanwhile, they're using Harvard finance, basic math, and they're going to rug you because you can't be bothered for whatever reason to understand how valuations work. I get it. I mean, it's fun listening to the people promising you $9. I get it. I'd love to see it too. There's no math they could ever show you that has a $9 price target in the next 12 months. There's no math. If you got the math, you show me. I have people argue with me in the Discord. Show me the math. They always come back to, well, but what if it just runs up because of high short interest? All right, cool. You have a FOMO price target. That's cool. I will never argue with that. How do I know what it could go to? But you want to say it's undervalued, show me the math for the next 12 months. It says here in the third paragraph of the prospectus, we believe that the volatility in our current market price reflect market and trading dynamics unrelated to our underlying business and our fundamentals, and we do not know how long these dynamics will last. This is AMC telling you this. Like, guys, the management is not trash. They constantly communicate this stuff, and there is absolute math to back up this statement. And if you go look at all of the analysts covering AMC, they do math too. I know none of us like what they say. I get it. What's up, buddy? You need to burp? I know none of us like what the analysts have to say, but AMC is, when they're negotiating with a institution to sell 90 million shares, what are these guys? The institution's going to say, well, the analysts have a $2.16 price target for you. And AMC is going to say, well, we think it's better than that. And the institution say, well, I'm not buying 90 million shares when the analysts, 7 of them, have an average price target of 216. That's just how it works. And these analysts aren't being purposely negative. I think they're underselling the quarter. I do think that. When they have negative 6 cents for this quarter, I think that's too low. But management is not trash. They're doing their job within the limitations they have, which is they're still not a profitable quarter here recently. They still have cash burn recently. We're hoping it will be better, but they saw that the price was running up and they took advantage of it. Would I have preferred they waited? Was I betting that they were going to wait? Yes, I would have preferred they waited. Yes, I was betting that they weren't going to do this soon, or I would have sold right here. I mean, if you've watched my channel long enough, you know I tend to sell around the supply zone. I was not expecting this soon, but it doesn't surprise me, and I'm not mad about it either. It's just another brutal reminder that AMC is always going to do what they can. Sean Goodman, the CFO, is doing his damn job to fix the balance sheet. They renegotiated $400 million of Odeon bonds that were due 2027 and moved those to 2031. The only near-term debt maturity that we have was $125 million of those 6 1/8 bonds that were due next year, and now Sean is paying those off. I don't even blame Adam for any of this stuff. Adam's not the CFO. Goodman he's out there. His job is to look at this stuff, to move risk out of the way for the company. for the company's survival. I would almost guarantee you that this is Goodman, and he takes it to Adam, and Adam says, yep, let's do it. People blame Adam. Adam's not the CFO. So Sean's doing his job. This will completely wipe out the 2027 maturity wall. The next big pile of debt will then not be due till 2029. That means management doesn't have to focus on worrying about debt till 2029. That means all they got to do is focus on managing liquidity, having enough cash to pay the bills. And if box office keeps up going the way it's going, then maybe liquidity is not a concern going forward. We'll look at that again as Q1 gets closer. I said on my tweet a couple days ago, short-term liquidity is not an issue. That is still the case. I mean, for the rest of this year, liquidity should not be an issue. They should have enough operating cash coming in with the higher box office where they're not having to dilute to raise money to pay the bills. But we will need to look at it again before Q1. Real Ruggedy says, did institutions buy all the shares? As far as I know, yeah. Typically by the time they announce something like this, the deal's already been hammered out. Broke Ape says we should shoot a blockbuster movie to help them out. Tony can play the futuristic cowboy hero. Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe I could finally get my first paid gig, Broke Ape. Where is AMC headed next? Kenneth says. Look, when a company does a direct offering in size like this, why did they do it in size? Why was it just boom? They could have done an ATM, and then the price still would have fallen. And then they would have been subject to the whims of shorting and negative pessimism for months, and we'd be traipsing back down to $1. They found someone willing to buy 90-something million shares for $2.10. Private placements are almost always done at a discount to the market price, and I think that as we just went through it, came down to a discussion of what do the analysts value the company at? 216. Okay, let's do 210. There you go. Came down to, I think it was that easy. And there is math to, I'm being generous when I say there's math to back up 216. There's math to back up 216 if you're optimistic about earnings for the next 4 quarters. You could get there and say, okay, well, if things go really good, 216. Did he spit up on me? Nope. Baby says you better get a burp towel. I do have one. I just didn't put it up there. All right. So did institutions buy all the shares? I think so. There's a reason why they did it direct, because it takes all the uncertainty out. Boom. But it does reset the price, because that is what a very large buyer agreed on, and AMC, what the valuation of the company was, $210. So that's why you saw the price immediately drop to $210. Why is it at $2 right now? Why did that happen after hours? I don't know that I know the answer to that yet. Kenneth said, what will happen to the stock? Someone asked that. My expectation, if box office is good, I already talked to the Discord about this. This is just my guess. Look, I don't have a crystal ball. Is that if box office momentum remains as we expect, that, this was all carefully planned out, that whoever got those shares at 210 is going to be able to sell them at a profit as Q2 finishes up, Q3 is good, and Q4 is good. They took the shares at 210. That's somebody who's reasonably confident that 210 is pretty safe. I tend to agree, but I also carefully watch the box office. So how fast does it recover? Good question. I didn't want to worry about that stuff. That's why I sold my June and July calls a few weeks ago and only held my least risky ones, the August. I've got to do something with those by early July. Let's see. I haven't looked at my account today because I've been busy, but let's see. August 21st, $1.50 calls. They're only up 26%. I was up 176% on those on the 22nd. Yeah, it's not, don't cry for me. I did very good on the June and Julys. As long as I don't lose money on the August, it's fine. I'm up 55.6% on my core share position. So that got walked down a little bit too, but I'm not negative on the company or the box office for the next couple quarters unless they got some other rug announcement for us. But what else could they do? They can't do any more offerings for 45 days. So there's a standstill agreement for that big investor that bought those shares. Someone asked in the chat, where is the supply zone? Thank you. Someone asked that in Discord this morning and I answered them, but I didn't move it. So I basically told them, oh, thanks, Colt. He just spit up. I told them around $1.70 to $2.10. Thanks, buddy. I'm spitting up on my arm and my leg. At least he got it out. You good? You good? So that's kind of what I see. Like I would always prefer to buy towards the bottom of a demand zone if I'm going to add. You too? But I don't know. I don't know how low it'll go. I don't have any lower prediction. It doesn't even make sense to me why it would go below 210, honestly. Glitch says once they have the shares, they could sell them in the open market. Yeah, they could. Or they could sell covered calls on them, which is what I'd do. Sell $3 covered calls for the rest of this year. Let your shares get carried away into bullish box office momentum on the stock price. Make money on premium. And if they get called away at $3 and you got them at 210, that's a good deal. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of theories of what they could do. I don't think that they're going to come at it negative after just having bought at 210. You want to play with your toys down here? Come here. I don't know if that'll work or not. Let's find out. Sparky, what's up? He says Bloomberg has updated share count to 892. That sounds about right. Float to 887. And I think what we saw in the prospectus, Sparky, is that AMC has about 167 million shares left of 1.1 billion. When we include the shares that they have reserved for executive compensation and the 566 convertible notes, which there's 112 million left of those, if I recall correctly. So 167 million, that is all we got left. I told Discord last night I'm moving up to DEFCON 4 from DEFCON 5 in my risk assessment about the company asking for more shares in December in one fashion or another. Mark says they already made money. They knew it was coming and would have shorted AMC in advance. I mean, that would have been the smart play. I don't know if they're allowed to do that, Mark, but Yeah, if they knew they were getting shares at 210 and they were allowed to short at 280, 290, that would have been the smart play, and they would already be well in the profit, and then they can do whatever they want with the shares at this point. That is a fair point. I haven't had a whole lot of time to examine the documents to see if they were allowed to do that, but if they were, then yeah, valid observation. Thank you. Baby called it. You did call it, baby. Well, luckily I had the rag here. So the 95 glitch says the 95 million shares could be used now and lend it out to institutions to short AMC. I mean, yeah, they could. I don't think AMC is a super great short at $2. But I maybe I'll be wrong. Look, we're going into record box office here in Q2. I don't know why you'd short it unless you're just bearish on the entire market, which is maybe another discussion. But yeah, they will be available. And if they're just sitting there, could they lend them out to make extra money? They could, I guess. I haven't looked at I haven't even looked at what the cost to borrow is. The lending fee. AMC 0.42%. I mean, they barely make anything lending out the shares. But they could, yeah. Really, what we're trying to do in the Discord, I have told you guys, I've been very clear, this is a swing trade stock only, in my opinion, until the balance sheet is fixed. It's bullish that Adam Aaron bought whatever price he got those shares at. That shows he's bullish about the stock over the long term. Hang on. Hey, bye-bye. You getting mad that we're leaving you alone down there? Adam Aaron bought some shares. The box office looks good. There's no reason to be super negative, but there is reason to be cautious, to think with your trader and finance hat, not your emotional MOAS hat. We're not in 2021 anymore. The float is huge. And so there is risk of the company doing things like raising money. That's just a reality. I will consider it a swing trade stock until the balance sheet is in a little bit better state. And why do I say that? Because I know that the threat of dilution constantly hangs over our head. What's up, Bubba? What are you complaining about? You're not normally this loud. Sparky says if shorts are still 60 million, it's only 6.5% short interest. Yeah, that kind of correlates with what I'm saying, right, Sparky? It's not really this is not a really stellar short right now. You don't want to be short a movie company into one of the best quarters in recent history. I get it. There's a lot of people that hate AMC, and a lot of people can see the balance sheet, and a lot of people know more dilution's coming, but the price is not I don't think there's going to be any real cash burn for the remainder of the year. All the pain was gotten out of the way in Q1. Fair enough. Doesn't seem like a good short. We see that the short interest percentage is dropping. We'll keep an eye on that. And if it goes up, we'll note that. Hey, here. Here. And I guess that's about all we have to say for AMC. I will, just to recap, if you're just joining in, I would be willing to look at rebuying if it drops into the bottom of that demand zone, which is near the moving average, the 50. That's at around $1.77. That's just where I'd be, I'd feel like my risk is minimized a little bit. I still have shares at $1.29, all of them, and I still have my August $1.50 calls. But I got spanked on those. They took away some of my profits. I'm hoping, if I'm lucky, in the next couple of weeks, the price will move up a little bit. And if it doesn't, I've already done fine trading the stock since end of March. So not going to be the end of the world. I'm not going to lose any money in this trade, even if my shares went to zero. And that is all about just having proper timing and using the sell button on call options when they're in the money. What I was going to say about the Discord, I have seen people selling puts for cash, for option premium, because they also don't think the price is going to get pushed down. That's something to think about. I don't give options trading recommendations. I'm just talking, if you're not in a conversation with other traders, I can tell you what other traders are doing. There are people selling $2 puts or $1.50 puts because they'd be willing to buy the stock if it dropped to those strike prices, but they don't think it's going to go to those prices, so they just get to collect the premium, and then you let theta work in your favor. And even if the stock trades flat, that is generating income for you. If the stock drops, you might own the stock at $1.50 or $2. That's what happens when you're selling puts. You're saying, I'm willing to buy it if it drops here, and if it doesn't drop, I just get to keep the premium. Do we need to go put you in bed? Let me go put him in bed. It's getting late. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Mom is working tonight, and Grandpa is with his other grandkids, visiting them. So I'm here by myself. Apologies for the screaming baby. Sparky talking about short interest. We talked about selling puts. Just conversation, what people are doing. I'm not buying any more calls, but if price were to get hammered down to $1.77, I might buy some calls. I'm more worried that the stock is just going to trade flat, so I'm not rushing out to buy anything right now. I'm just kind of in observation mode for a few days, and I'm good with the shares that I own and the August calls. Cullis says, what's up? He says they already missed the best shorting spot close to $3. Yeah, we talked about that. I tweeted out and posted that there was strong resistance around $3. That's going to be shorts. That's going to be swing traders. That resistance up here, this supply zone goes back a long way. And so I said, you got to be prepared that it might reject here. Not only did it rejected because the company saw it coming too, and they said we got to jump on this and raise some money. They did the smart thing. I get it. If you're YOLO and short-term call options, dumb first of all, but that's why you don't do that stuff. You got to take emotion out of the trade and think like the company would think. Think like the CFO. I need a t-shirt that says that. Think like an analyst. And forget about these yahoos on social media telling you it's worth every penny of $9. It's not right now. It's not. Could it be next year? Maybe. We're not in next year yet, guys. I'm very hopeful. I'm very positive. I'm not trying to neg the stock. I'm long the stock at $1.29. I just am being a realist here and trying to have optimal outcomes. And losing money is not an optimal outcome. Therefore, I'm not buying any more calls at the moment. Because what if it trades flat? What if it goes down? Give me a couple days to see what happens. If it runs up, I've already got calls. I've got August $1.50s. I'm going to be fine. Someone asked about Railtown. J Dog, what's up? He says, I want to know your thoughts on Railtown and why William is so much against you, Tony. He's constantly mentioning you in the negative venue. Look, if someone can't have a due diligence discussion like an adult, Jay, their normal MO is going to be to insult and lie about people. And he lies about me constantly. He lies that I'm day trading the stock. I'm not. He lies. I have never sold one share of Railtown yet. 90% of my position I have accumulated since December, January. Yeah, I bought a small amount when we thought AIP might happen, but that didn't happen. And I wasn't willing to risk a lot on that. But once it came down and formed a base, a demand zone, you can see all my buys down here. I bought a couple at 58 cents, a couple at 49, but 90% of my buys were since December. And I have been talking to the Discord and you guys for a long time that I want to maintain a cost basis under 30 cents because we have good support here. He's mad because I tweeted up here that there was resistance and to be careful while he was urging people to buy. He probably didn't like that I made that call, but I mean, the chart was showing us that it was rolling over. That's nothing against him. He's not a very good technical chart person. He believes in the story. By that time, I believed in the story too, or shortly thereafter. But the story and the chart are two different things. When a company has no revenue, you got to pay attention to what the chart is telling you. At any moment along this timeline, they could have announced revenue and you could have had a resetting of the price, but we didn't. And so here we are. I do talk to management from time to time. I am confident still that there's work being done. And I'm confident still that revenue is coming. I'm slightly confident. I'm trying to not overcommit here because I don't want to be accused of pumping this stock or giving you unrealistic expectations. But I mean, this is not anything we haven't talked about in the Discord. I think the price will be re-rated higher than 24 cents if they can provide projections for revenue. Do I think it's going to be re-rated to $55? No. No, I do not. We have much more reasonable, and these aren't sell targets. I'm not going to tell you when to sell. I'm going to specifically let Bill tell you guys when to sell. He's done such a great job over the last 5 years telling people to hold every stock while they lose 99%. I'm going to let him do the same thing here. But I'll let him tell you when to sell. I'm only going to be talking about that in my Discord. We have reasonable price targets, and I hope to be able to readjust those price targets once management gives us a firm projection on revenue. Until then, until you have that, everything, any numbers that are being thrown out there are just made up in somebody's head. There's been zero communication from management of what you should expect. And I think that means something. That means we don't make up numbers. The high probability you're going to be wrong if you're out there just Do I think we can have a good trade here? I think we can have a good trade. Or I wouldn't have been buy. Look at all these buys down here. I just bought some on June 16th at 24 cents. I don't know what to tell you. He lies that I'm day trading. He lies that I'm going to tell you when to sell. He lies that I'm negative on the company. I'm not. I talk to them. I believe in this management team. I'm not negative on them. It's a big cope. His channel is a big cope that I have been correct on patience. Wait for a good entry. There's no need to put out a video every day telling people buy at any price, never going to see this price again. It's ridiculous promotional horse shit. I don't like that. I don't like people doing that to you guys. Oh, and he lies that I'm going to tell you to sell your Railtown and buy AMC. No, I'm not buying AMC, and I own no GameStop, so I'm not going to try and I don't move people into other stocks. What do we talk about, Anya? We talk about diversification. I don't have a favorite stock. I'm going to try and take you from this basket to that basket. I will not tell you when to buy or sell a stock. That's your choice. You got to own it. And anybody saying all this shit about me is just a liar. And the more they lie about me, the more I'm going to cover their stocks. Wait till I start on the mining stock. Keep up the lying. I'm going to start covering the mining stock. I guarantee it. Because liars piss me off. And you think he's mad at me at Railtown? Wait till I start covering his mining stock. Keep up the bullshit, William. Keep it up. Anya says, thanks to Tony, a few of us are in pretty low on Railtown. Little downside. That's what we believe. There's little downside risk. The company would have to entirely fail. And I don't get the impression that nothing is going on. There are things going on that they cannot tell us about yet. I can talk to them. They can't tell me what is going on specifically, but I believe there are things going on. Anya says, Willie thinks Tony pumps AMC. I mean, I bet he doesn't know, Anya, that I was out of the trade for 2 years, that every AMC pumper hates me and calls me that I work for the shorts. Do you think he knows that? That just like him, because I have a realistic view of how to trade AMC profitably, I get accused of working for the shorts? Imagine that. Anyone who's telling you that shit is a pumper, a promoter. They don't like someone doing reasonable analysis on something because it upsets their pumper narrative. And so they try and label you, oh, he works for the shorts, or he's trying to scare you out of the trade. He's trying to move you to a different ticker. These people they're trying to control how you think. I just want a good trade with the optimal outcome. I will never tell you how to trade a stock. I won't move you from one ticker to another. I can guarantee you that. I've been out of the AMC trade for 17 months. We got back in March. We've been killing it, even though I know the price got run down in the past 2 days. We've been killing it, selling, locking in profits since the end of March. You didn't see me out making videos saying buy at $3. That was dumb. I was telling you expect resistance at $3. You got to learn to listen. I don't own GameStop. I'm not going to move you into AMC or GameStop. You do whatever the fuck you want. These are highly risky stocks. I want you to own profitable companies with growing revenues and good balance sheets. AMC and GameStop ain't either one of those. They each have their own speculative factors They're not stocks that I recommend. They're stocks that I trade and that I report on, because there's not very many people with common sense covering these stocks. There's a difference between reporting on a stock and promoting it. I report on a lot of stocks, including Railtown, because the people reporting on them don't have common sense. They create fiction, they create hype, they create a sense of urgency, and then they're wrong, and then you lose money. That pisses me off. It's really that simple. Any other questions about Willie or Railtown? I'm bullish on Railtown. I think it's going to be a good trade if you got in cheap. How good? I don't know. I have shared some valuation analysis in the Discord. I'm not going to talk about it on YouTube because I don't want William to have a stroke. And I'm just guessing too. My number is way lower than William's, but I'm just guessing too. Until Corey comes out and tells us what the revenue projections are, we're all just guessing. I err on the cautious side, because then I'm not disappointed. Then I'm not lying to people, hyping them up with, you're going to be a millionaire. We're going to start our own hedge fund. We're going to get out of this crazy market. That's just, I mean, God bless him. I hope he's right. Because we're going to do fantastic too. But imagine if he's not right. Just one more set of failed promises. We're, in the Discord, we're having very rational, reasonable, revenue-based projections. And if we're right, we're going to have a great trade. And if we're wrong, it's not the end of the world. We got a low entry. And if we're wrong, we're not going to be decimated. This ticker is not going bankrupt. And they just had BlackBerry, the BlackBerry guys invest 3.3 million Canadian in the company. That is meaningful. They got that new hire, Saeed, over from TELUS. These people, I had, in error, had said that they were window dressing. It has come to my attention. I will talk to you guys more in a couple days about how. It's come to my attention that these gentlemen are very actively involved in shaping the future of this company. This is not window dressing. So I will retract any statement that I made. That was me being too, a lot of times they a company put someone on the board just to have the name there. That is not what's going on here. These people are actively involved in driving the strategic implementation of Railtown. That's all I'm going to say for now. I have every reason to be bullish. I have not sold any shares. I'm not day trading the stock. I'm not trying to move you to AMC or GME. Stay the fuck away from those tickers. Is that clear enough, Willie? I don't work for the shorts. I told you that a year ago. The tweet's still there. Right, William? The tweet's there where you asked me, why do I do this? Who pays me? And I told you very clearly the answer, yet you still lied about it for every day for a year. There's something wrong with this gentleman. The more he lies about me, the more I'm going to cover his stocks. That shit pisses me off. PRO says, I love that Tony moves AMC. I've been asking the market gods to make certain things happen, VRO. And, I say that. It's my funny way of sharing with you what my prediction is. And the predictions have been pretty spot on, but man, this offering was sooner. It happened sooner than I thought it would. Not unexpected. I would have preferred they wait for it to go over $3. But they didn't, and that's why I told you expect resistance here. You got to, if you, and AMC will dilute again, guys. Let's be clear. They got a balance sheet to fix. But we need movement so rapid that it runs up and you get to trade out of the stock. By rapid, I mean like to $4. Could it go higher? I don't know. I don't talk about that stuff. I don't give price targets on speculative tickers. I can tell you where the support and the resistance is. I can tell you, basic TA, if resistance gets broken, you could have a breakout above that. I don't have any price targets above that because who the hell could predict that? I guess, if you invested millions unpacking the BlackRock algorithm and you know exactly where it's going to go in 7 months, maybe you already know the answer. I'm not that smart. Ba-dum-bum. Shh. Love you, Nick. My Italian brother from another mother. The Cullises, what's up? You should only scalp GDC. Do y'all want to talk about GDC for a second? Anya says Railtown is at a very attractive price lately. I agree, Anya. And we got those warrant expirations will be wrapped up by the 27th. Maybe July will be a good month. GDC, man, the Cullises. Good Lord, what a fucking train wreck this stock's been. Talk about people. Oh, look. Huh. TTTMF. You think I'm joking about talking about this stock, William? Look, there it is. I'm already laying my foundation. Keep up your bullshit. Do something that pisses me off. We're going to rain holy hell on your mining stock. Right now, I'm just leaving you alone because you're the same irritating liar you've been for the last year. But do one more thing. I'll start adding the mining stock to my coverage. GDC, a Chinese pump and dump called GD Culture. I started covering it. I was watching it run up. I almost bought the stock at $4 or $5 when it was getting pumped because they claimed to own 7,500 Bitcoin that were worth about $10 at the time. And the pumpers got a hold of it and they pushed the price up in after hours to like almost $9. But what do you know? The company had pre-filed a reverse split and pre-filed a equity offering. And I was just watching it run up and I looked at those filings and I said to myself, this seems pretty squirrely to me. And I could get all wrapped around the story about the Bitcoin, but what's my upside? $6, $7 to 10. Okay, that'd be okay. But what's my downside? Infinite. If I go long at $4, $5, $6, $7 and they rug me, because I saw that they approved a 1 for 250 reverse split in December 23rd, 2025. And then they filed a equity offering right before this pump. Seen it way too many times, ladies and gentlemen. And sure enough, they rugged everybody. Within 2 days, the price was dropped from $9 to 13 cents, and now it's at 2 pennies. People have been talking about the float, 61 million. We got an update today. Finally, the company's been silent for 7 weeks. Do you know what type of dilution they dumped on people? While the promoters were lying to you the whole way down, saying it's not the company, it's naked shorts. 1,604% dilution is what they foisted upon innocent retail traders. The float we found out today has been, I don't own the stock. I don't recommend it. I've been reporting on it because I'm compiling a report on Chinese pump and dumps and the promoters that push them. And that report will come out soon. I have a whole long list of companies just like GDC, affiliated with GDC, promoted by these same people. It's going to be interesting report when it all comes out. But one 1.04 billion shares is what we found out today. They increased the float over the last 7 weeks from 61 million to 1.04 billion shares, selling 700 million shares at an average of 6 pennies. They put out a press release saying they had a buyer for the company at 10.75. Meanwhile, a couple days later, they're selling 700 million shares for 6 pennies. And then yesterday or today, we find out they did a private placement of another 250-ish million shares at 2 pennies. This is horrible what this company did. The 5 employees with no business, no revenue for 5 years, $20,000 on their balance sheet. And that's the company you want to get behind? That's the company you want to defend and say, go buy it? For the last 7 weeks, these damn promoters. That's the company that you want to insult me on for pointing out that they had already pre-approved a reverse split in December, and it was no secret they had a $300 million ATM waiting to be used. They had no cash and no revenue. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? They're going to rug you every single time. How many of these do we got to see? I mean, it's just funny at this point. Whack. 3 reverse splits in 6 months. YYGH, same bullshit. 2 reverse split, boom, boom. I mean, they are stealing your money. It's not the naked shorts. It is these Chinese companies. HUBC is a Israeli company, but same shit. 3 reverse splits in 6 months. Taking millions of dollars right out of your pocket while the promoters tell you they got it figured out. Naked shorts are scared. No, there's no naked shorts scared when the company's selling 1 billion shares and increasing the float 1,600%. This is promoter horseshit. And it's the same people every time. This easy go, same thing. All these companies, except for HUBC, all of these companies are affiliated with WAC. I got a long list of them. Then we got YYGH being promoted by their lender. They're being promoted by the lender, filing ownership filings, tricking you to go long. Meanwhile, the lender's getting hammered too. Hyperscale. Down 27% today. Oh, YYGH is going into robotics. No, they're not. They bought some Chinese knockoff robot, and they say they're going to program it to sweep the floors in a hospital. It's just promoter fucking bullshit. These people really get under my skin. And I just read a filing. I tell you what I see. I told you back in May what was coming on GDC, and I've been subjected to 7 weeks of Tony, shit-stained Tony the clown, Tony works for the shorts. It's just, these people are deathly afraid to talk about filings, and so they resort to insults and lies, and that is your tell that they are a paid promoter or just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. When they can't talk about a filing and they want to insult someone, wake up. Who is on your side and who is not on your side? If they can't have a conversation about a filing like an adult, they are not on your side. They're hiding something every time. SEC watches it all go down. The Nicholas says, yeah. I mean, this is the problem. I feel horrible for the people in GDC. I see them on StockTwits and Reddit. They're saying, you know, we need to sue. We need to call Univest and tell them to stop the private placement. We need to call the SEC. You're fucked. It's too late. I want you to have a good trade before you get to the point of having to take someone to court, because by then you're already down. You got no money to sue anybody. And the problem with these companies is they're very good at covering their legal asses. GDC properly, legally disclosed everything that was going to happen. I'm not particularly smart. I knew what was going to happen because I went and looked at the filings and I read them. They told you exactly what was going to happen. And then there were a couple of what I call bull trap PR, like, oh, we got a potential buyout offer at 1075. But they didn't call it a buyout offer. They said a non-binding potential proposal. And if you read the actual document, all sorts of risk language in there. We cannot guarantee this will ever become a binding offer. The offer might be canceled. They did a fantastic bang-up legal job of making sure they warned you about everything, how it could go wrong. But you believed the promoter's bullshit, who didn't want to read you that filing. I read you the filing. There is not going to be any suing this company. You're not going to win. They legally disclosed everything. They told you what could go wrong, and you bought it anyways. They're going to say, no reasonable investor would have invested in this company. We warned them, Your Honor, and they're not wrong. It sucks. Be mad at the promoters that don't want you to read the filings. Be mad at them. You can't be mad at the company. They got you, but they did it legally. They disclosed it. You didn't read. That's why we have t-shirts here that say, read the filings. This is how you become a winner. Understand the bigger picture if you're going to be holding a stock longer than overnight. And yeah, this other one that has been promoted, I haven't even looked into it. I just keep on seeing, keeps on getting promoted. ADTX. Same thing. 1, 2, 3 reverse splits. And they were trading under 10 cents. And what happened today? Down 77%. Why? Because NASDAQ told them, you're done. You're cooked. No more going to the till. You're out of here. And they will be delisted. And that is a very real risk for GDC. But I think that they will implement a 1 for 250 on Monday, GDC. They already filed it in Nevada with the Secretary of State. I'm also really pissed at this company, GDC, because they're filing stuff in Nevada and not with the SEC. Like, if you want to sue them, that's something to sue them over, in my opinion. How the fuck can you be filing in Nevada where only people smart enough to go look can see it? That's not full public disclosure, in my opinion. I'm not an attorney, but if I was going to sue them for anything, I'd say you got compliance and governance problems here, sir. Mr. Jingwang Zhang, whatever the fuck his name is. You're filing that you're going to do a reverse split in Nevada last week, and you haven't told the general public yet? Only a few of us know about it? I'd be pissed about that if you own this stock and you're in red. I'd be pissed at the promoters who lied and told you don't look at the filings. And I'd be pissed at the company, and you might actually have actionable stuff there where you could go after them for filing a reverse split in Nevada and not notifying the SEC, the general public, at the same time. Why are certain people getting access to the information early? For all we know, the company could be working with the shorts, filing in Nevada, so only the smart people know, oh, it's okay to go short here. This is coming. We don't know it. We're looking for a press release or SEC file. Meanwhile, a week ago, they told the smart people, we're about to rug these motherfuckers even worse with a 1 for 250. And if we don't, we'll probably get delisted. Can I get a beer? Would anybody mind? Hang on one second. All right. Get a beer and check on Colt. I have a camera here that I can check on him, Anya. I don't hear him, so I'm assuming he's asleep, but let me peek at him real quick. Yeah, he's sound asleep. Sound asleep. He is sleeping about 5 hours at a time, which is pretty good. So what is it, 10 o'clock? I'll probably need to be up around 3 or 4 to feed him, change his diaper. And then mom will be home around 5:30, 6. She usually takes over for a couple hours there so she can spend time with him. And she's off for the rest of the weekend after today. And she spends a lot of time with him on her days off. And that's lately where I've been able to get more work done when she's home. It's really hard to do videos or do live streams, and I'm trying to do everything. Work, check stocks, research, clean all the baby bottles, do laundry, everything. Sagi Wang, is that GDC? Look up his address. Real rugged. This guy's got like a $54 million apartment in New York. Some bullshit like that. The CEO of GDC. Maybe it's a $5 million apartment. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but the company's got $20,000 on the balance sheet. They've had no revenue for 5 years. The guy's got a multi-million-dollar New York condo or apartment, and he just raped you for $42 million at 6 cents a share. I mean, everybody that got rugged in GDC has every right to be pissed off, which is why I started talking about it on this first red candle. And I was attacked on 30-minute daily phone calls, space calls for a month. Why is Tony talking about this? Because it's going to 2 pennies, you motherfuckers. That's why I'm talking about it. Because I actually have a heart. You might want to get paid to funnel people into the dilution. I don't want to see people lose their money. These promoters don't care about you. They'll sell you whatever they need to with their little sweet naked short song because they're getting paid. And then they walk away and say, oh, well, the company must have been corrupt. How could we have known? Where's the SEC? How could we have known? How about Rita filing? They've been there for months. The setup was there. They did the old Kansas City shuffle on you. They were setting up the rug, and then over here, look over here, a 1075 buyout proposal. Whoop, pulled the rug out on you. They got you. And the promoters enabled it all the way down to 2 pennies. And now they say, I wouldn't touch this. The company's obviously not honest, yeah. A lot of integrity there, you promoters, all of you. The Sneakerhead, what's up? Happy late Father's Day. Thank you. Cullis says he lives in New Jersey. Well, I mean, I don't know where the CEO lives of GDC, but I looked up the address of the company filings, and it's a very swanky New York apartment. Anya says, I added to HYMC. Man, that's the one ticker that I'm in the red on, Anya, for sure. I should have fucking swung it. $20. God damn. I did okay on silver and Highcroft. Buying in this initial run up, and then I sold here, sold Highcroft and silver, and I said I'm going to wait a while for a pullback, and it did pull back to this demand zone, and I bought, and then I started getting a little more bullish, and so I bought here on this dip, and then the metals market just evaporated on us. So I tried one more time here at 27. I'll probably add a little more if it hits 15, 17, 21 even is not bad. I generally will add a little bit if it drops 20%. If I still believe in the story and it drops 20% from my last buy-in. And that would, I mean, we're at that. So I need to spend some time looking at the chart. But like I said, I've talked to you guys in Discord. It's really hard to predict what metals are going to do. It's tied into the global economy, and yeah, you can. I didn't have my sell on Highcroft up there, but I sold silver at 102. It went to 109. I didn't quite get the top. I bought at 64. I still have this, and it's at 51. So I'm in the red on Highcroft and silver. I see people say, Tony always says he does well on every trade. No. Here you go. Not everyone, but you hold silver long enough, it'll come back. But what's long enough? A year, 10 years, 20 years? Fuck if I know. I'm not too worried about it. I have a diverse portfolio. One trade in the red related to metals is not going to be the end of me. Don't worry. What else? Any other? Did we cover everything y'all wanted to talk about? GDC, Railtown, AMC. I do want to talk about GameStop. Earnings were good. We already talked about that briefly. I need to put a video out. Ryan Cohen and the company got sued over the July vote by that institution. They got sued in the Delaware court. The eBay proposal 4 didn't pass. GameStop is increasing their ownership of eBay. And then the most recent news is Ryan Cohen says, forget about my pay package. And I actually commend him on that. I get it. He probably pulled it because he's getting sued. Oh, I did buy some GameStop yesterday, by the way. I know everybody's been wondering, when are you going to buy? I sold on the eBay rumor night back on May 1st, 26.75, 27.75. And I've been waiting for a new demand zone to reveal itself. And we did have 2089. We kind of bounced again here. So I bought a little bit at 2120. I'd prefer, honestly, to be buying it under 21 bucks. Under 20, I'd be even better with. But most of my buys on GameStop have been around 20 bucks. 20. I already sold these, but this was December 2015, November 2020, 21, 25 back in April. Those are all gone. I sold them for 27, 26. So we're rebuilding a new position for in the next swing trade. There's a lot of risk that I see here because I think, as I've said many times in the Discord and on Twitter, Ryan Cohen, in my estimation, has every intention to try and make this eBay deal work. And I hope he does, because I think it'd be fucking hilarious for him to prove everybody wrong yet again and go in and cut costs on eBay and make it even more profitable. What a story that would be. Ryan, I want to see you succeed. But as an investor, as a speculator, as a trader, I'm not a Ryan Cohen dick sucker like the cult members. I will look for opportunities that minimize my risk while I believe in the company and I want to see the eBay thing happen. I'm well aware of the risk of GameStop buying eBay, that the market might not favorably value the new code, that they might discount the valuation because it'll be highly leveraged. A lot of debt on the backs of eBay's balance sheet. All the TD Ameritrade loan for $20 billion is coming because of eBay. This is not GameStop just getting free $20 billion. If tied to eBay, that's the only reason they would get that money. It'll be a highly leveraged NewCo, and Ryan's got to execute. So I don't know how the market would value it. You can see GameStop's getting punished. eBay ran up, but it's coming down. Typically, the acquirer stock gets punished, which is mostly why I sold up here. Plus, it was up in this supply zone. Two good reasons for me to sell. And then just sit back and wait for it to come down and reassess calmly, emotion-free, plenty of time. This eBay deal is not going to happen quickly. But Ryan Cohen is showing to me every intention that he wants to make it happen. And I want to see it happen. And I want to have a good entry, whatever that means. If he cancels the deal, which I don't think he's going to do, but if he does, I think you'd see an instant pop up in GameStop stock because the market's punishing GameStop for trying to buy eBay. That's not anything against GameStop. I know these damn cult members say, oh, the market hates Ryan Cohen. They hate GameStop. I mean, they don't like Ryan Cohen. They don't like GameStop. That's true. But you can look at most M&A type deals like this. The acquirer tends to get pushed down in price and the target tends to get pushed up in price, depending on the likelihood of the deal going through. If the market was certain that the deal was going through, eBay would be trading right around $125. And that's why it ran up here. But then they started saying, this deal might not happen. So the price is coming down. The arbitrage is being done. The market's telling you what they think. You can interpret this price as right now the market does not give high probability that Ryan Cohen will make the deal happen. Doesn't mean anything. Ryan Cohen could make a lot of things happen in the next 2, 6, 12 months. I'm just telling you how the market is looking at it right now. They don't think it's going to happen. I hope it does for Ryan. And Ryan, I look forward to doing that interview with you soon, where we can talk all about it. Anya says the eBay sellers should stop selling for 1 month and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing a lot of stories, Anya, that the eBay is not very favorable to its main customers, which are the sellers. And so I would like to see Ryan go in there and make things better for the entire ecosystem. Look, if anybody can do it, it's him. I do think he's a good tactician. Yeah, he stumbled a little bit in GameStop, trying to apply a Chewy model over GameStop, but he is intelligent enough to realize that wasn't working, and he stopped and he pivoted and he went into cost-cutting mode, and it took a few years. And he's turned GameStop around to at least where it's operationally profitable. It's not an albatross around his neck. And he raised money off of lenders and shareholders, and now he's got a war chest he can go do something with. He's, in my opinion, doing an okay job for the company. Now, the problem a lot of people get mad at him about is he doesn't communicate with shareholders, and shareholders create their own narrative, their own story, their own fiction, their own fables. Look, that's a shareholder problem. That's not Ryan's problem. You can't create fiction. I see people drawing bubbles up here in the top right that GameStop's going to $1,000. It's just complete horseshit. Something wrong with these people, which is why I cover GameStop. There's something wrong with these people mentally. They have no integrity. They have no honesty. They have no ability to properly analyze the fundamentals and what it could mean for a price target. $1,000. Get the fuck out of here. But you could see, if eBay and GameStop come together, it's going to, I think, over time, be some beautiful synergy, and Ryan Cohen will go in there and smack some heads around, cut some costs, and it'll be a beautiful thing. I want to be in that deal at the best price if it happens. And I hope I don't miss it. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be brutally emotion-free. And I hope I don't miss it. I might miss it. But you know what? You know what we do as swing traders? A lot of times trying to time the bottom is a dumb idea. You've heard the phrase, don't try and catch a falling knife. That's why I don't always buy on this first. I don't know where it's going to stop. But once it kind of reveals the support, if I'm lucky and it comes back down, I can buy with more confidence. That doesn't guarantee that I got the bottom here. Look at Highcroft. Look at silver. But I think the downside is minimal from here. GameStop's not a bad company. They got plenty of cash. They got what I call a fortress balance sheet. They're operationally profitable, barely, but it's good enough. And so the downside risk is minimal. It's just, what is the risk of the eBay deal? How is the market going to value it? How would that affect GameStop? Is there going to be dilution related to eBay or something else? Those are the things holding the price down. We got time to figure it out, I think. And I'm not confused about why the price where it is. I'm not confused why analysts aren't covering the stock. I'm not confused about anything. The people that cover this stock every day are confused. You're confused because you're creating a false narrative and the market is telling you the facts and you're not willing to accept it. That's why you're confused. You're confused because you're not living in a world of reality. Ed Bob says, I'm confused why you'd talk shit to a beginner. I'm not sure what the repetition is going on there. You claim to teach. We do our best, Ed. But I asked a question last year in your AMC investor. I didn't own AMC last year, Ed Bob, so I'm having trouble following your question. I didn't own AMC for almost the last 2 years. And he says, not only did you both call me an idiot, you both, and then he cut off. So go ahead and finish your thought there. I have not owned AMC since 2024, Ed Bob. And we've been very clear about that. the AMC promoters hate me because I told you guys to wait. I told you I was waiting, and I told you why I was waiting. And I told you when I would rebuy, what I was waiting for. And then that moment came, and I bought. It's just like I said I would. I got a lot of beginners in my Discord, Ed. I got a lot of beginners that watch this channel. I don't, there's no benefit. You don't see me out on Twitter insulting beginners, calling them, what are all the names people are subjected to? I can't stand these people that call people baggies and idiots, and that's not helpful to a beginner to be called a baggie, to be made fun of. If you insult me, if you start out on the wrong foot, I probably will attack you back. I think adult conversations should be based on mutual respect. And I think that your eventual success will come from letting the emotional nonsense on social media go. Buckle down, learn how to read a balance sheet, an income statement, a 424B5, a 10Q, a 8K, a 10K, listen to an earnings call. Your success will increase exponentially if you can actually try and learn. That is what doing your DD is. Reading the company filings, understanding what they mean. Did I understand all of this stuff 5 years ago? No. I was a traditional investor. I just picked profitable companies, mutual funds, ETFs, what have you, a little bit of options trading, but I wasn't mucking around in the gutter with all of these money-losing companies. Look, if you're going to muck around in the gutter with a money-losing company, you better be on your A game. You better be spending hours a day understanding a financial statement, reading a filing, and I mean all 80 pages of it. Because if you're coming at this game unprepared, the big boys, the institutions, the Wall Street, the Citadels, they're going to eat your fucking lunch because they have all this information. Doesn't mean you need to avoid these tickers. I trade them. I trade them pretty good most of the time. But I put in a ton of work, and I come on here for free to answer your questions and try and help you. But a lot of y'all get mad that I read the filings. Oh, he's a fake bull. He's a bear. I'm literally reading the company document. I don't know what you want from me. Ed Bob says, I'm sure Anya remembers you insulting me. I don't know. Find the, was it on a live stream, Ed Bob? Find it and let us know. I'll take a look. And if I owe you an apology, I'll gladly extend you one. Corey, what's up? He says, thoughts on AMC and where we will end up at the end of the month. We went over that a little while ago. I will recap very briefly before we wrap up for the night. It's 11 o'clock here. I still have, I've been swing trading this stock since 2023 when we exited before the reverse split. Took a lot of hell for that. I exited 2023 before the reverse split. That's well known. I rebought on the dip in early 2024. We swung it and wheeled options for a couple months, and then it kind of died out. Company ran out of shares and cash, and I completely exited the trade for 17 months until here. March, end of March. Got in, exited on this run up, made 100%, waited for a pullback, bought back in at $1.29, bought June, July, August calls, way more calls than shares, already sold the June and July calls because I was up a ridiculous amount, 400 and 700% gains, kept the August because I've got time to be wrong. And so I'm sitting here owning these, and I have August calls. Although they wiped me out. My 176% gain is, what did I say earlier, is now 26%. But Don't worry about me. I made plenty of money already in the last 3 months on this stock. I believe you should use both the buy and the sell button. All right, let's be clear. This is, if you want a buy and hold channel, this is not it. Not yet. I'm bullish on the box office, but the company has more balance sheet work to do, and that's not me being negative. That's just me wanting to have an optimal outcome on my trade. I got to accept the risk that the company is going to raise money if the price moves up. That's why I sold those options a little early. 400 and 700%. Do you know how much I would have been up if I held them to 296? Probably be up over 1,000%, but I'm not taking chances. So I sold the ones with short-term expiration, June and July. Now what do? You're asking me what's going to happen by the end of the month. I don't know. I mean, they sold a bunch of shares at 210. That revalues the stock to 210. We got every reason to think the box office is going to be bullish for the rest of the year. So right now, just a guess, this is my honest belief, the bulls will try and push the price up based on the box office. But now we have Pentwater and Discovery with 150 million shares, and we got this new whoever with 95 million shares. What are their intentions? How the fuck do I know? Are they going to sell? That's extra selling pressure. Are they just going to sell us options? Are they going to loan them to shorts? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to think about. I would say anybody who is overconfident, I've learned the hard way not to be overconfident with AMC. Be a realist. Take profitable outcomes. Let a little bit ride. That's kind of my strategy. I've been taking profits on the options. I went heavy on leverage trades and took profits as soon as I was up a decent amount. And then I got shares and other options that I'm letting ride because who knows what could happen. But I will not lose money on this trade. I'm so far ahead, I will never lose money on this trade. I expect that the price will move up. I don't know why it fell to $2 today. That was a head scratcher for me. And the other thing that I said at the beginning is if it drops to the bottom of this demand zone right here, to the 50 moving average, a lot of people have been asking me, when are you going to add? Not at 210, not at 2. Nope, not interested. At $1.77, depending on what's going on in the economy, the market, the box office, you might tempt me down here. I'll decide if we ever get there. I'm not saying we're going to get there. I hope we don't. I've got a position I'd like to just go up from here, but I don't control the market, so I can look and see where things might go. And I can lay out in my mind what I would do if that happens. That's what I would do. I would consider buying right now at the bottom of this demand zone, but we got to see what happens when we get there. Ed says, I'm still here. After I called AMC phony out, you must have addressed that issue because I don't see that video on your channel. I'm not sure what you mean about AMC phony. AMC has a troubled balance sheet, Ed. This is not a buy and hold stock yet. It's a tradable stock for high volatility, in my opinion. A lot of people are going to be mad at me for saying that. I'm bullish on the box office. I think the companies, all of the movie companies are going to do great for the rest of this year, including AMC. But AMC still needs to fix the balance sheet. That's not something we can just ignore. So, yeah, I'm disappointed that I didn't sell at 296, and I'm disappointed that I got my profits on my current position knocked down a bit. But there was a reason I was playing it very cautious and selling the calls. You go look at my videos. Look at the one where I talked about the 700% gain. There's people in there calling me a fake bull. How dare you sell your options for 700%? You're a fake bull. Motherfuckers, if you're up 700%, take the fucking money. Don't be stupid. It's not a fake bull. It's called being an intelligent trader. You don't go up 700% and then just hand it back to them because you got greedy. Has nobody learned anything since 2021? I learn and I try and implement my learnings to improve my outcomes. That makes people mad for some reason. I don't know. I can't explain why people get mad at profitable traders. I can't explain it. Well, Ed, if I was a dick to you, I'm not mean to people typically for no reason. I don't see the benefit in insulting or being mean to people that don't start off on the wrong foot themselves. But if I just attacked you out of nowhere, Ed, for no reason, I just attacked you, then I apologize. I think I have a pretty long history of being very patient with a lot of people that are very ugly to me. People always tell me, why are you talking to that person? You answered his tweets for 2 days and he was a dick to you. Because I genuinely think that some people want to learn, but at some point when I realize you're just being a dick, I'm going to be a dick back because I don't have time for negativity. Anya says, I'm going to guess that you bash Adam Aaron, Ed. I guess she's talking, I don't care if people bash Adam Aaron, Anya. I don't care about CEOs. I don't care about Ryan Cohen. I don't care about Adam Aaron. You can bash them all you want. People bash Ryan Cohen. I don't care. People bash Adam Aaron. I don't care. They're doing their job, and people create a fiction in their head of what they want to happen. And then the CEO does his job and they find out their fiction was incorrect and they get mad at the CEO. Well, because you're not thinking like a CEO. That's a you problem. It's not a CEO problem. People that are bashing these executives have no ability to think like an executive. And I don't mean that to be insulting. I mean that you need to go take a finance class. You need to go learn how they think. You need to take an accounting class. You need to get someone on your side that can help you think like a CFO, which is why I'm here. Well, thank you, Ed. I don't know what happened. Whatever happened that night. I truly, I have said this and I mean it. All of these people that spend all their time on Twitter making fun of you guys for your choices and investments, even the dumb investments like NextBridge or MMTLP, stupid investments. I feel bad though for the people that got stuck in it. I'm not going to call them baggies or retards. They didn't read the filings. They listened to promoters and liars. And, they have still 1,283 days later not realized that they made the mistake. I don't insult them, though. I genuinely want to teach them where they fucked up. I can't teach anybody by being mean to them. But just the fact that I would say, oh, the mistake might have been yours because you listened to a dumbass promoter telling you about or even a CEO who was lying to you about asset values when you could have read the filing and see that none of that was true. That makes people think I'm attacking them. I'm not attacking you. I'm asking you to read the filings. Stop listening to dumbasses. What's up, Palm Prowler? How you doing? Cheers to you. We're finishing our one Modelo. I was so worn out, you guys. I'm sorry for having the live late. But I was up at 5 a.m., no nap all day until 7 o'clock. I fell asleep. I put the baby down. I fed him, put him down, and he slept till about 8:30. And that's when I woke up and I was like, shit, I wanted to do a live at 8:30, but I needed to get a few things ready, get his milk and all that. And so here we are for the last 2 hours. So it's been fun hanging out with you guys. I do need to get some sleep. AMC, we talked about GameStop, GDC, we talked about, I'm not going to talk about Genius Group tonight. I did try and volatility trade Genius Group again. I forgot I had a good to cancel buy on Genius Group at 0.202. It's in the demand zone. Not a ticker I recommend. I bought it on, I just realized like yesterday that my order had gone through on the 16th. And I have told you guys, if I trade this stock, I do not believe in the CEO. I don't believe in the story until they post new numbers. There's a reason. I've been covering this stock for 3 years. They have not impressed me yet. And the price is down from $344 to 19 cents. So I have not been wrong. But I still will trade it for volatility. And look, it had a 100% run right here. Right here. Whoops. May. Right here. I told you guys, where's that buy? Where's that buy? Anyways, I told y'all that I was buying it on one of these dips and it went up 100%. And so I tried again. You get the fuck out of here. I tried again on the 16th. Right here, I had a good till cancel buy that hit. And I have very tight stop loss on this. If it starts falling under the demand zone, I have zero tolerance for losing money. So today, unfortunately, they got me. They stop loss hunted me. You can see it closed at 1960. I was in at 20 cents and I had a stop loss of 1989. So don't feel bad. I lost 11 cents per share. But then it went back up to 20 after hours. They got me. Now we closed under the demand zone, which means I need to be patient. Now don't rush in. Once you break under here, that is not a good sign. So, and this is just entertainment. This is not an investment. GNS. Sometimes you get lucky on high volatility. Mostly it's just trash. Until Roger fixes the company. But so far, he hadn't done much. Pond Prowler shots. No, I got no help here tonight, Pond Prowler. It's just me and a 3-month-old baby. One beer. That's all we're having. I haven't even had a shot in, good Lord, I can't even remember when. It's been a lot, probably with you, that last live stream we did, Pond Prowler. I sure hope that box office will end up over 3 billion because we need to have a little party. We need to have a little July party. I do have family coming in. All my family's coming to meet Colt around July 4th. So the party might be delayed a few days, but if we cross 3 billion domestic Q2 box office, we're having a goddamn party. No matter what else is going on in the market, the world, the economy, the stock price, we're going to celebrate $3 billion box office. I think always celebrate small victories. Life is short. Celebrate small victories. Yeah, Bob, thank you. God bless you. Good luck on your trades. And I truly do want to be here to help you guys. Why does he do this? Who's paying him? Nobody's fucking paying me. I make a couple $100 a month covering obscure stocks that nobody cares about. But I got a lot of free time. and I only got a few years left on this earth, and there's a lot of people lying to you out there. There's a lot of good opportunities in volatile stocks. I'd prefer you be in profitable companies with growing revenues, growing profits. But hey, I can save myself 3 trips to Vegas per year messing around with these volatile stocks. It just takes a little bit of letting emotion go, reading some filings, being a little bit more educated. I mean, it's sad to say, but if you have an edge over 99% of the retail traders because you bothered to read, you're going to have more profitable outcomes. They're going to ask, how do you always do so well? I read, motherfuckers. That's going to be your answer. We'll make a t-shirt. I read, motherfuckers. How'd you do it? I read. It doesn't take a lot to do well. There's day trading, right? There's pre-market day trading. That's a whole different game. I'm talking like you're trying to scalp these things for a day or two or a week or a month. You got to read, and do not get your info from social media. Get a good group of rational people around you, not the promoter nonsense. Once they are wrong on 9 out of 10 trades, you got to let them go. I know they're fun, they're entertaining. They say naked shorts, but they're always wrong. I've been wrong. I learn from it. I pivot. I change, and we move on. It's okay to be wrong. You can't be wrong. If someone's wrong all the time, it's because they're getting paid to give you information that is wrong. No one accepts being wrong every time and then blame it on the SEC, blame it on FINRA, blame it on the company. They're wrong for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. They're getting paid. Okay. I've been wrong. I learned from it. I changed my approach, and we talk it out. All right. I gotta go try and get a few hours sleep. So thank you so much. Let's talk GameStop maybe on the next live stream. I got a lot to say, but mostly people don't want to hear what I got to say about GameStop. There's going to be some profitable opportunities, but not if you're listening to the cult leaders. Join the Discord. It's free. Link in every video description. We will see you on the next one.
And to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right.
Hello, millionaires. Short screenplays where fortunes flip. GameStop's journey, an epic trip. From humble roots to the moon we fly. A company's dream will amplify. Reddit warriors, keyboards in hand. With their eyes on the prize, they took a stand. No one's selling, we're here to fight. How does it go? Up and to the right. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It stops on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, molasses in sight. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. GameStop's on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, more assets in sight. Hedge funds trembling, Kenny's in shock. GameStop stock, you'll never stop. From diamond hands to rocket ships, we're not selling, we buy every dip. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. Up and to the right, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Up and to the right, more asses in sight. Billions in cash on the balance sheet. We will win even if they cheat. Dilute us more, we don't care. Book value grows with every share. The doubters say it can't be done, but the retail army we've already won. With every share we'll never stop. Investors say we love the stock. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride.
Surprise!
We're gonna win.